Good afternoon. This is a hearing of the Chatham Conservation Commission being held on June 26th, 2024, in accordance with the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Town of Chatham Wetlands Protection Bylaw and Regulations. My name's Janet Williams and I serve as the chair. Today's hearing is being broadcast live on Channel 8 and is being recorded for the on-demand archives on the town's website. It's being conducted in person, by phone, and by video conference. The agenda, instructions on how to attend, and copies of all documents for review are posted on the town's website, which is mytowngovernment.org, which you can access through a link on the Conservation Commission website. So to all participants, whether you're attending by phone or online, please remain muted unless you have been recognized by the chair. If you're attending by phone, you can mute and unmute by using *6. If you're online and you're not a commissioner, we ask that you please keep your camera turned off until you've been recognized. You can indicate that you wish to speak by using the raise hand feature. When you're recognized, please remember to identify yourself for the record. So that we have a record of a quorum attending today, I'll now ask each commissioner to indicate their presence. Vice Chair Karen Lattin.
Present.
Bob Rawls.
Present.
Mary Sullivan is not here today. Elise Gordon.
Present.
Cheryl Meservey.
Here.
Eric Hilbert.
Here.
Associate Member Bob Delvecchio.
Present.
Just turn your volume all the way down. There you go. So we've established that we have a quorum. Before we begin the agenda, I'll ask Paul Whiteman, the Chatham's Conservation Agent, if there are any requests for continuances today.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Good afternoon, Commissioners. We have several continuances.
Are you on?
The first one is 227 Vineyard Avenue. That will be continued to July 10th. 26 Salt Pond Road will be continued to July 10th. 289 Sea Pine will be continued to July 24th. 30 Sears Point Lane will be continued to July 10th. Those are the continuances.
All right, thank you. So we'll make those formal announcements when we reach each of those in turn. So Paul, I guess would you please begin and lead us through the agenda?
Thank you, Madam Chair. First on the agenda is a notice of intent, 28 Cranberry Lane, Richard and Jill Tepper, map 15J, parcel 18, DEP number SC10103653. Project is for demolition of an existing dwelling and construction of a new dwelling within the buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland.
Good afternoon, David Clark on behalf of the Teppers. I can't remember where we left off. It was last year sometime, October, November. I don't remember whether you reviewed this current plan. I know the first go-around, the very first meeting we had with you, you had issues with the circular driveway. We've removed that. Basically, we've increased the amount of decrease in the 0 to 50 substantially. The house is pretty much the same. The reason for the delay was we were working out issues with the Board of Health. They graciously changed their regulations to allow this project to go forward, and we do have the Board of Health permit now for this. Schedule to go to the Zoning Board of Appeals tomorrow.
Okay, that's what we were waiting for, I think, was to let that happen. Do you have the date of the latest date of the
Latest
plan?
date, last revision was March 15 of this year.
Okay, we'll just make sure that we have that one ready for next, make sure that everybody has that one. Okay, I don't think, I think you're right that we had approved all of that. My note said that the last hearing was March 20-something, so we would have seen that. But we'll just double check that, and I think that we are just now ready to let ZBA go forward, and assuming there's no issues, we can schedule this for an order.
Sounds good to me.
July 10th?
So CBA is tomorrow, so the 24th, is that all right?
24th
Of
July.
July.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Even better.
even better. And let us know, obviously let us know if they make any changes.
That'll give us
any
time
of
to
the-
make any changes if
they have any.
required.
Okay.
I move that we continue 28 Cranberry Lane to the meeting on July 24th for an order of conditions.
Gordon, second.
Roll call vote, Elise.
Aye.
Cheryl.
Aye.
Karen.
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
I think that was an aye, and I say aye, so.
Thank you.
Thank you, okay.
We skipped Vineyard.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, we skipped
But
it.
we never officially opened
Yeah.
it.
We have to do that, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Madam Chair, I skipped over the first one, so I'm gonna go chronologically through the agenda. So let me read the continuance for 227 Vineyard Avenue and, as, I do terrible with names, and Azanaro, map 11C, parcel D131, SE 103471. This is a field change request, garage addition, and invasive species control. It's an after-the-fact field change request for an extension to an existing low native New England field stone wall for stabilization garage foundation to protect the erosion caused by wind, extreme high tides, and stormwater runoff. By agreement with the applicant, this has been continued to July 10th.
I move that we continue 227 Vineyard Avenue to the meeting on July 10th, 2024 for a field change request.
Gordon, second.
Roll call vote, Elise.
Aye.
Cheryl.
Aye.
Karen.
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
And I vote aye, so.
Are you not hearing me?
Yeah.
Like you think?
Yeah.
You are? Okay, good.
I hear you.
All right,
You're good. Okay. All
Okay,
right.
so the next continuance is a notice of intent, 26 Salt Pond Road. 26 Salt Pond Road LLC is the owner, map 17J, parcel 9-1, DEP number SE 103675. Project extension of an existing stone revetment. This has been continued by agreement with the applicant to July 10th.
I move that we continue 26 Salt Pond Road to the meeting on July 10th, 2024 for a notice of intent.
Gordon, second.
Roll call vote, Elise.
Aye.
Cheryl.
Aye.
Karen.
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
And I vote aye, so that's for the 10th. All right.
Next on the agenda is a continued matter for a notice of intent, 289C Pine Road. 289C Pro Nominee Trust is the applicant, map 12K, parcel HC21, DEP number SE 103685. Proposed removal and reconstruction of a single family and associated improvements. This has been continued with the applicant's consent to July 24th.
I move that we continue 289 Sea Pine Road to the meeting on July 24th, 2024 for a notice of intent.
Gordon, second.
Roll call vote, Elise.
Aye.
Cheryl.
Aye.
Karen.
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
That was an aye. Okay, and I vote aye. That's continued. All right, moving right along,
Next
Paul.
on the agenda
This is good.
notice of intent, 24 Avalon Point Road, Paul M. Sheridan, trustee, Avalon Nominee Trust, map 12L, parcel L4, DEP number SE 103689, project proposed reconstruction of an existing beach access stairs.
Good afternoon. For the record, Sean Riley with Time Bond, representing the applicant. We are here before you for the replacement of a beach access stair that actually goes down and accesses the beach, as well as the pier that's on the property. We had just closed out an order of conditions for the coastal bank restoration with Wilkinson Ecological about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And we have another open order of conditions on the property for the site redevelopment. We're waiting for the 3-year survivability clause to lapse before we can ask for closure of that, which should be in September of 2026. The mitigation plantings were installed in September of last year. So, so that order will remain open until, well, actually, the order is closed, but we won't be able to ask for a certificate until the survivability and the plant reports are provided to you. So back to the matter before you. Again, we're proposing a replacement of the stair. We are asking for a slightly wider stair. After attending one of your previous meetings, there was some clarification on the maximum width that the commission was looking for, and that was 3 feet. I believe that on our plans, we're showing 38 inches. So we'd be glad to reduce that that actual walkway width to 36 inches. We do have to go to the Zoning Board of Appeals at the end of August. So we could make those changes to the plan to reduce that, and any other changes or questions that you have on the project. I'll open it up to any questions.
All right, thank you. Do you have a date for that ZBA offhand?
It's the last Thursday of the month, so I would just say if we would continue to maybe the first meeting in September, whatever that would be.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so just
So
to
essentially,
clarify,
the stairs in the same footprint. There's
They
no
are
real
the-
change to the stair location.
but the entire width of the structure is slightly larger, but it's sitting on, the pilings or the support structures are going to be in the same location they
They're going to
currently
be in the
are?
same general location. They'll be basically just 4x4 posts that the contractor will post hole dig them into the ground.
Okay.
And I believe there's a detail that they provided as part of our application.
Okay, so you'll make the change for the interior dimension to be 36?
Correct.
Okay, and that'll pull down the exterior, which will be exactly right, that'll come into what our standards now are. Materials, can you walk us through what you're proposing in terms of the materials?
Sure. On the detail sheet, the contractor, oh, it's not coming up. There it is. All framing of the stairs should be ACQ or equal. Decking and handrails are proposed to be composite. Hardware is to be hot dip galvanized or stainless. And the stairs are to be constructed without the risers, the kickboards. Again, all the work will be performed by hand, and the limit of work shall extend no more than 3 feet beyond the front of the stairway. There will not be any vegetation that needs to be removed as part of this. They're under some pretty tall pines, and the understory is adjacent to the stair is not very thick, so it should be easy for them to get in and out and do the work.
Okay. All right, let me open it up to questions from commission members. Karen, you want to kick off?
Did you consider, one of the things that was said was that you needed them wider, and they are very thin, because it made it difficult to get kayaks, et cetera, down the stairs. Have they considered putting a kayak rack toward the bottom?
I will talk to them about that. They also have a boat at the end of the pier, so they're bringing in and out
Right.
all of their, the boating equipment. But yes, absolutely, I will talk to them about a kayak rack. I'm actually going to be coming before you with another project that will have a kayak rack on that. I think it's a great idea to keep everything off of the beach and off of the resource areas with those.
Yep.
So I will inquire, and when we make the revisions for the width, you may see that come back to you.
So also, the pier that's remaining, I didn't walk all the way down. What material is that? It looked like it could be a
To be honest,
aluminum.
I didn't,
Well,
did not take a close look at that.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I was wondering why they're not using the same. It looked like it could have been aluminum. I don't know. And why not use the same thing for the stairs going down?
Is it seasonal? Is it seasonally removed?
So
I
N-
couldn't
no, I don't
tell.
believe it
It
is.
doesn't look like it is.
yeah,
Be the reason.
I don't believe it is. And the contractor worked directly with the client on the materials for the treads and the railing of the stair. We weren't involved
Okay.
with, he came up with the design and the sketch.
All right. That's
Okay.
all I had.
All right. Eric, Bob? Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like composite, looked like
Yeah.
plastic.
Did it look like?
The
it
decking
didn't
did.
go all the way
Yeah, the
down?
decking did, yeah.
Okay.
There's a pine right, almost touching the current stairway, Sean. And so it's gonna I think the stairway's gonna have to be moved a little bit.
To
you know,
one side.
Because as that grows and sways and so forth, it's gonna interfere with the staircase, you know?
I could take a closer look at that before the next hearing if you'd if that works for you, and we could address that.
Yeah, and also
And how do
the,
we-
underneath the stairway, it looked like it was pretty intact. There wasn't any erosion going on or anything, but are you planning on, the decking's gonna be inch between the,
Between the treads.
yeah. And,
Yeah, it'll be 1 inch between the treads.
so, you're gonna be after everything's disturbed and dug and, backfilled and so forth for the posts, are you gonna be planting anything?
I can discuss with them, a good seed mix would be recommended
Something shade tolerant?
for any of the disturbed areas. Yes.
I did notice they have an erosion control blanket almost underneath.
Oh, was
I
it?
see some spots towards the top that were a little more bare, so I could tell.
Mm-hmm,
That may be why the erosion's controlled.
uh-huh. So you're
Yeah,
gonna,
they had Wilkinson just finished that project with that. They did a nice job of restabilizing that bank and
Yeah.
the surrounding area. So obviously they want to continue that mantra throughout because they don't want to deal with any future issues. So I'll bring that up as a comment and address that at the next
Yeah,
one as
maybe
well as
even,
to what we're going to do there.
maybe even some, isolated plantings, along that, as well after it's complete. With bayberry or
Understood.
something, just to stabilize everything.
Okay, questions, comments? All right, anybody else, questions, comments? I don't see anybody, nobody in the room. All right, I guess we're ready to schedule this one then. It's pretty, you have to wait until the end, so we have to do first hearing in September, is that what we're looking at?
First, yeah, if we could request a continuance to the first hearing in September, obviously I'll get you the materials and the modifications
Yep.
well in advance of that.
Yep,
That'd be September 4th,
okay,
and that's for an order?
yep.
I don't think.
Let's
we-
take a look at the,
Yeah,
no,
that's
we're
what
going
I
to
thought.
continue to September 4th, and then we will schedule it right after that for, all right, got it, 9/4.
I move that we continue 24 Avalon Point Road to the meeting on September 4th, 2024 for a notice of intent.
Gordon, second.
Roll call vote, Elise?
Aye.
Cheryl?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I vote aye. So, see you back here on September the 4th. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Bye.
All right, Paul? What's next?
Okay, Madam Chair, thank you. Next on the agenda is continued matter 30 Sears Point Lane. McClay Family Property LLC is the owner, map 11A1, parcel 6-4, DEP number SE10 3677. The project is proposed waterfront maintenance, and the applicants requested a continuance to July 10th.
I move that we continue 30 Sears Point Lane to the meeting on July 10th, 2024 for a notice of intent.
Gordon, second.
Roll call vote, Elise?
Aye.
Cheryl?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I vote aye. That is continued. See how fast this can go along?
Wonderful.
It's great. And we're going to pay the price later,
Yes.
but yeah, but today it's good. All right, Paul, what's next?
All right, next on the agenda is a request for a certificate of compliance. The address is 378 Cockle Cove Road. The applicant Scott and Shauna Daly, map 58, parcel 13, DEP number SE10 3151. Project demo, existing dwelling and construction of a new dwelling. Just a brief background on this. I'm recommending approval for a full certificate. The order was issued in 2019. And I believe Attorney Litchfield and Mr. Clark are there to address any questions you might have. Apparently, there were 3 plants that were required for mitigation. I went out to inspect those yesterday. They're alive, and there's nothing in the plan or in the file that indicates what the mitigation was. It just says that the agent was supposed to meet at a pre-construction meeting with the applicant and decide what the mitigation was. It the current owner of the home took me out and showed me where he thought the 3 plants were. There was an extension order granted on this. The actual order goes back to 2018. It was extended in 2019 to allow 2 growing seasons. That time's expired. So having said all that, very minor mitigation, kind of a lack of record in the file on everybody's part, including the department. So I would just recommend approving the certificate of compliance. There's a sale on the house pending. Everything else was done. They were just waiting for these plants to finish their growing season, and that's expired. And as I said, they're alive. So
We thank you
And
for the
there's
picture
Attorney
proving
Litchfield.
that they're alive.
yes, I did.
Okay.
I
They look a
move
little
that,
bit like me, but they're alive.
We have all felt that way from time to time.
Yes.
Any questions or anybody?
it's pretty simple.
It's pretty straightforward, given the yeah, right, it's fine.
I move that we approve a certificate of compliance for 378 Cockle Cove Road.
Gordon, second.
Roll call vote, Elise?
Aye.
Cheryl?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I vote aye, so that has been approved.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. All right, Paul, what's next?
All right, next on the agenda is the airport. Let me read the legal ad. It's always fun. I hope this is the last time I have to read the legal ad. 240 and 438 George Ryder Road and 1652 Main Street, Chatham Municipal Airport, maps 9F, 240, 10G, 438, 8E, 1652 Main Street, parcel 0-2, 240, 18-K1, 438, 53-27, 1652 Main Street, DEP number SE10 3658. The project is to propose removal of vegetation management required to remove obstructions within navigable airspace in compliance with Federal Aviation FAA regulations.
Thank you. All right, before we dive into this, I'll just, for context, our last hearing on this was held on June the 12th. A couple of things have happened in the interim. We've received some materials from Gale Associates, the consultants for the airport. That's been posted online, along with a copy of an email to Gale Associates from the FAA New England Region official. We have started work on a draft order of conditions. It has been circulated among members of the commission, and a copy was provided to the representative of the airport, but I will say that in subsequent conversations yesterday through this afternoon, we've already identified several areas in which we're going to need to make some changes to it. So we're not quite ready to vote on it today. We were hoping to get to that point, but I want to open it up to representatives of the Airport Commission to see if they have any comments that they want to make at this time.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Am I able to speak or free to
Yes,
speak?
you are,
Is that
Mr.
okay?
Karen, you are recognized. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. Matthew Karen with Gale Associates for the record. Just wanted to make note that we did meet with the the Cape Cod Commission last evening. They reviewed the airport's proposal. It was a subcommittee. The subcommittee approved the airport's proposal as presented. They are going to send that off to the full Cape Cod Commission for their, review and approval at the July 25th meeting. I will note that the subcommittee did approve the airport's proposed project without limitations with respect to the approach surface at the airport. That is indicated and noted in the notice of intent application before your Conservation Commission. We have had a limited amount of time to take a look at the draft order of conditions. I will note condition number 12, which is on page 11M. there's language in there that suggests that this Conservation Commission is limited in scope to the Chapter 100 bylaw and the 1958 plan that is associated with that. And respectfully, I would request a continuance on this. We can continue to negotiate this draft order of conditions, and more importantly, get legal counsel or town council to weigh in on what you all feel is the limitations with respect to the approach surface at the airport. You did note that you received the correspondence that we forwarded over from the FAA. In that correspondence, the FAA did note that the existing approach surface at the airport is as described in our notice of intent application. It is that surface that begins at 400 feet in width at the inner approach surface at the airport. So I think we're in agreement, or I'm in agreement with what you'd previously stated, that there is some work to be done and hopefully some discussions and negotiations with this order of conditions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Karen. Yes, I think we agree. I think that having further conversations, and it would be really great to have input and advice from council. We've been requesting it. We haven't gotten it yet, but we will continue to make that request. Yes, there's got to be a way that we can have conversations and negotiations to settle the question of the correct applicable dimensions of the approach zone that will govern this order of conditions. We also, just as an FYI, we need to put in some more information and regulatory background and some findings and perhaps further conditions that are protective of the vernal pool. But we will flag those for you when you review it, so you'll see that they are new. And I think, given that, the plan that we came upon this morning was to get to that point and circulate a new draft within the next, well, certainly within the next week, which will give everybody a week to look at it, and then schedule this for, well, but you know, if there's going to be further conversations, we might want to push it out a bit further to the 24th, which is the day before the full Cape Cod Commission hearing.
Right.
Which is okay. Would that be acceptable? Is that okay, the 24th?
Yeah, Madam Chair, if you're asking me, Matt,
Yeah,
Karen,
I'm
that's
asking
fine.
anybody, I guess.
Sure.
Hearing no objection, let's have a motion then to continue this to July the 24th. Keep it away from the
Madam Chair,
yes, Mr. Riley?
everybody loves to hear from a lawyer.
Yeah, look, I don't know, let me think about that quickly.
I just wanted, I'm representing some of the pilots, so, and I reviewed the draft order, including the limitation in paragraph 11 on page 11M, and I think that's, I don't think that's appropriate because the bylaw itself provides that in the 100-4, paragraph D, that the Airport Commission, in its sole and absolute discretion, and in the exercise of its administrative and enforcement authority hereunder, may, upon consideration of relevant hardships and practical necessities, utilize its own staff or agents to survey and identify trees or other vegetation located on properties in the vicinity of the Chatham Airport, which have been determined to constitute an airport hazard, and to remove, lower, or otherwise change the same as the Airport Commission shall deem necessary and appropriate, and further, in pursuance thereof, the Airport Commission may expend town funds legally appropriate and authorized to cover the cost of such survey. And so it would seem to me that your limitation to the approach shown on the plan is really inappropriate, considering that the bylaw itself gives the Airport Commission the ability, in its absolute and sole discretion, to identify areas on properties that are in the vicinity. So I believe that your limitation is inappropriate considering the language in the bylaw. And I wanted to know whether or not the bylaw was part of the record.
The bylaw is cited in the order as one of the regulatory
No, but the-
applicable
Yeah,
standards.
but has the
so-
bylaw itself been made part of the record?
Yeah, it's listed as part of the supporting documents for the record.
Okay,
But let me
great.
ask you this, if the bylaw were to be fairly interpreted as you suggest, why are we here? If the Airport Commission has the sole and absolute discretion to remove trees that it deems to be obstruction, why do they need anything from us?
Well, because we have overlapping bylaws. We have the Chatham Wetlands bylaw, that was brought in decades after this bylaw was established. And I think the Airport Commission, in its wisdom, felt that going in and doing work in a wetland area without the guidance of the Conservation Commission would be inappropriate and, would make them the subject of great concern, other than the concern we already have, which is pretty substantial. But I think that what I would interpret this as that the application that they would make to you is in an area, whatever the area they determine in their sole and absolute discretion, and is clearly not limited to the plan that was created in 1957. So and I just wanted to make sure that, A, that was discussed. Since I haven't been to many of the meetings, I did listen to the last
It
one.
has not been cited yet.
Okay, well, then I'm glad I showed up today.
Not that
Because
we're
it-
not aware of it, but it has not been cited by anybody.
Right, so I think it's really important that in your review, it's unfortunate you can't get town council to weigh in, but, yeah, I understand he's retiring. So I have other applications where we're seeking guidance from him and haven't heard from him on those either. But I think in the discussions moving forward, this should be part of those discussions, that's all.
Well, let me ask you one other question. If that's a local bylaw, does that obviate the need for a state wetlands permit?
Well, I think we have an overarching conservation bylaw that applies to all work, whether done by a municipal corporation or by a private individual, in areas that are under the jurisdiction of the DEP and its regulations. And the Chatham Wetland bylaw clearly gives you jurisdiction over this kind of work. So I think that the only reason I'm citing this is not because of, we're not challenging the authority of the commission. In fact, we acknowledge the authority of the commission in this area. I'm only raising it because I think paragraph 11 is inappropriate under the circumstances. In other words, there's nothing in the bylaw itself that says, that they can't work outside that zone. In fact, to the contrary, I was a little surprised by the words sole and absolute discretion. But so it's the Airport Commission that determines where the work is to be done without reference to the 1957 plan. So that's, that would be my presentation on behalf of my clients.
All right, thank you. Anybody else have any other questions other than the one I asked?
Well, you got a lawyer here, you might as well ask a question.
Is it a question for Attorney Riley? Oh, no, that's it. All right, thank you. Thank you. I don't, we have taken a lot of public comment. We've received a lot of documentation. We thank the community for your continuing interest and your ability to provide materials. But we are ready to close this hearing to any further input. Sir, do you have a question?
No, not a question. I'd like to give input, but.
Yeah, no, I think we are done, unless you have something to say that we haven't heard before, and we've heard a lot, and believe me, we have taken all of it into consideration and all of it on board. We've read everything, but at this point, unless the representatives for the Airport Commission have anything further to add to the record, we're going to close this hearing the 24th.
You're not here.
No, I am, but it's beyond it's beyond 21 days.
Oh, yes.
No can do, we're not going to close it today.
Nope.
Sir, do you have a question, or?
I would like to pass out this picture to.
You have to be at a mic. Adrian's also.
I see Adrian's here, okay. Oh, I'll ask her if she wants anything. You need to identify
I just
yourself.
had a process question. I
Okay.
just had a 21-day process question.
Yeah, we're
but-
just realizing
we
that.
just
We
realized.
just looked at
Thank
each other
you.
and said, that won't work. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah,
What-
hi, my name is Hart Fessenden, Chatham, and I had some comments I was going to make pro the airport vegetation management plan. I will not do that because I understand you guys have been overwhelmed by that. But I do have a photograph here that was taken about 1960 of the Chatham Airport, and I think it's very educational. I'd like to pass it out
Sure.
to the
I've been
commission and
looking,
also.
I saw one earlier, taken in like 1959, and I wonder if this is the same one, but I've never been able to find it again.
Yeah, it may or may not be. There's multiple pictures
Yeah.
from the past,
Okay.
which basically show how low the vegetation was
Yep.
at the airport. And I think it's very important to put that in the record here as we all consider what needs to be done.
All right.
And that's it.
Just turn that. We're not going to close today. then. Can't do it. Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, Madam Chair,
Yes, Paul?
just a suggestion.
Yep.
The applicant, if they're willing to,
Thank you.
you're gonna discuss things with them and negotiate. If they want to waive the 21-day period in writing, you can do that and continue it to a date that's agreeable. If it goes beyond the 21 days, that is perfectly appropriate and legal, but we need the applicant to do so in writing to waive that 21-day period.
And so that would allow us, if they were willing to do that, to close today and to continue into discussions with them and that go beyond 21 days? I thought,
Yes, to a date that,
okay,
you're obviously going to continue to a date certain, but
Right.
if it goes beyond the 21 days, you can do that.
right. We were going to continue it to July 10th, but in light of some of the complexity of some of the issues that we still need to get clarity on, I think that's ambitiously too quick. So I'd like to suggest the 24th. We don't meet on the 17th.
No.
So Adrian, that would require, if we were to close today, that would require a waiver of the 21-day requirement.
Okay, and I just want to make sure that if you close the hearing today, can there continue to be coordination between the proponent and you all and town legal counsel, and that is acceptable to occur?
Yeah, I think some of that gets dangerously close to new information coming in. So I think my preference is to hold off on closing. We can, depending on how the conversations go, we can take us to the 24th and close it then. I think that's okay. I don't want to foreclose anything that might be useful or helpful or illuminative, or point the way toward a solution. So I think the best path is to not close, and we'll continue to July the 24th, and Paul will be in touch with respect to setting up conversations.
Someone who has a hand up. L.E.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
okay.
Leo Eldridge.
Yeah, unless you have a question, Mr. Eldridge, we're not taking any further public comment.
Just a process question.
Yes,
if I
that you
may.
can, yes, that may, you may ask.
Cape Cod Commission is going to come back for the full vote on the 25th. Does it, if that impacts your decisions, should you try to
No,
make your decision after that?
no, we're operating independently. And
Okay.
that has been established since the beginning, that, yeah, that doesn't have any impact on us. I know I heard last night that they will make sure that whatever they issue is aligned with any conditions that we put into place for the vernal pool protection. That's fine. If we have something by the 24th, they'll have that just before their hearing, and that might help.
So their concurrence is not required for your decision?
No, nope, totally independent.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. You have to come up to, if you have a question, you need to,
I have 1 minute that I request because it has not been a priority.
You
need
need
to
to
go to
be
the-
at the mic.
Just 1 paragraph out of whatever's going to read.
okay.
Yeah, hi, my name is Renee Haas, and I've been a pilot since I learned how to fly 30 years ago at Chatham Airport. And I just, I've got 5 paragraphs, I just wanted to read one. The airport is an integral part of the national transportation system funded by the Federal Aviation Administration and Mass DOT. Grant assurances made to federal and state governments obligate the town to maintain the airport, including the removal of obstacles in the flight path. Contrary to some critics' statements, the approach zones are well documented in the master plan update, which was approved by the FAA. The Cape Cod Commission has acknowledged the supremacy of federal and state requirements for maintaining a safe airport. Therefore, the Conservation Commission has really no basis for distinguishing between areas that are on a town map versus areas that are not on a town map. The town, in my opinion, and I'm not an attorney, but from what I can understand, the town has no standing when it comes to defining where aircraft can fly in the vicinity of the airport. The same requirements and hardship exemptions apply regardless of the status of a town map. Certainly, the Cape Cod Commission has acknowledged this in their own subcommittee recommendations issued yesterday. Thank you very much for offering me a minute.
Thank you. All right, with that, we are ready for a motion to continue this to July the 24th.
I move that we continue 240 and 438 George Ryder Road and 1652 Main Street to the meeting on July 24th for an order of conditions.
Gordon second.
Roll call vote, Elise?
Aye.
Cheryl?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I vote aye, so thought we would be done sooner than that, but alas, it's the way it goes. All right, Paul, what is next?
What is next? Reorganization,
I meant to kick them down.
Janet.
All right, it's that time of year again. We reached the end of our fiscal year, June 30th, and we have to reorganize for the next fiscal year. So we've had some conversations. We have an idea, a proposal for how this will go. But one thing that's going to happen is we are going to lose 2 of our members whose terms are expiring on June 30th. I guess I'll do that now, and then we'll vote, but you get your last vote. So both Mary Sullivan and Bob Rawls will be leaving the commission as after June 30th, unless Bob wants to hang around as a holdover, but I don't think so. So I want to acknowledge both of them. Don't laugh, it can be done. Kate Conley wrote an article about it, it can be done. Anyway, thank them both for, Mary for her 4 years and Bob for his 6 years of service, 2 of which sitting in the chair and doing an outstanding job of guiding us through those 2 years. It was hugely appreciated. But on a personal note, I really want to acknowledge and thank Bob for showing us and bringing us information and perspectives that we were lacking. And just to point to a couple of specifics, getting us to know very well, more deeply, Professor Ptolemy's view of the critical role played by the mighty oak tree and why it is so deserving of, in all of its forms, you know, white, red, black, English. They're all oaks, and they all provide essential ecosystem services and are deserving of all of our protection. I hadn't read the books before Bob suggested it to me, and I am eternally grateful that he made that suggestion. Similarly, you know, he has educated us a lot on the critical role played by native vegetation species in general, and why we should have a very distinct preference for them, to the point where we have revised our regulations to require 100% natives in the no disturb and 75% in all the other areas in the aura, which will probably get kicked up to 100. And we'll call that the Rawls rule going forward, so that everybody with planting natives, and connected to that is the realization that has grown amongst us, and I'm really heartened to see growing among the community and among the retail vendors in town, of the wide availability of pure, straight natives. They are available. They are beautiful. You don't have to sacrifice the aesthetic side of your garden to plant all native and do, you know, the ecosystem a huge favor, the pollinators a huge favor, all of the creatures who depend on native plants a huge favor. And for that, Bob brought us that. And finally, the deeper understanding of the ways in which the scourge of microplastics continue to enter the environment, and the steps that as a Conservation Commission we can take to prevent that and to fight back, because we happen to be sitting in a seat which allows us to do that. So for all of that, Bob, I am personally eternally grateful and appreciative, and we will dearly miss your presence here. So thank you for your service to us.
It's very kind, Janet, and I appreciate the comments. It's been very good 6 years. I've enjoyed it. Look for hopefully the letter in tomorrow's Chronicle, asking for people to sign up if it shows
Yay.
up.
We heard.
That's a lovely
Did you see
parting
it?
gift, Bob. Thank you.
Yes.
It's a beautiful letter.
All right, thank you, and good luck to you all. And I know that you are going to continue to do the good work that's needed.
Thank you. We're going to keep at it and watch for that Rawls rule for 100% straight natives everywhere in all of our
Excellent.
jurisdiction. We'll love to do that.
Thanks.
All right, with that, so for reorganization, we have to reappoint a chair and a vice chair. So I will make a motion that I will put into nomination for the position of chair our current vice chair, Karen Latin, because, damn it, she is ready. So I move that we appoint Karen as chair.
Gordon second.
All right, roll call vote. Elise?
Aye.
Cheryl?
Aye.
Karen, you can abstain if you
I think I'll
or you can vote, you just can't vote no.
I'll
That's-
abstain. I
Eric?
think it's funny.
Aye.
Bob, I'd like you to vote on
All
this
right.
because you're
I
both
am
Bobs.
voting.
Go
I'm
ahead.
Voting an aye. Yeah.
And I want
Aye
Bob
from-
Del Vecchio to vote, just because, on the record.
Aye.
And I vote aye, so that is a unanimous.
Oh, my.
Good luck to you. You'll do a great
Thank
job.
you.
I think, yay.
And I would like to nominate Elise Gordon to be the vice chair for the commission for the next year.
I second.
There we go. Roll call vote. Elise, you just can't vote no. That's the only, you can abstain. Okay. Cheryl?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
Bob Rawls?
Aye.
Bob Del Vecchio?
Aye.
And I vote aye. That is unanimous. Congratulations, Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you, everyone.
Women stay in
Yes.
charge. That's a good thing, I think. It's gonna be good. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm returning back to
Thank
my seat in
goodness.
the back bench and to provide whatever service I can, advice, insights, perspectives,
goodness.
heckle. So
So I
That's-
also have a couple things to say.
there you go. The floor is yours.
I have a couple people I'd like to acknowledge. Janet, when I interviewed 3.5 years ago during COVID, I really didn't know what Conservation Commission really did. All I knew was that I wanted to protect the resources that make Chatham what it is. You, as chair, accepted me and guided me through that first half a year. Fast forward 2 years, and once again, you're our fearless leader. And you took a chance nominating me to be your vice chair, and what a year it's been. Little did I expect to have so many unusual applications, from docks to the airports, and with many revetments and emergency orders thrown in. And you managed them all as though you've seen them all the time. I can't thank you enough for all you've done, and I'm glad you will still be on the commission. And Bob, you are the only other person who has been a chair since I joined the commission. During your leadership, I learned all about, as Janet said, natives versus nativars. Also to question things I hadn't thought to question. Your dedication and knowledge will be missed, and I hope you enjoy many hours of kayaking and maybe reading something other than NOIs and RDAs. Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you, Karen. It's very nice. I think we'll be in good shape. And so with Bob and Mary stepping down, the select board should be in a position to vote your elevation now. So I don't know who we need to call or make.
I'll be in contact with them.
Yeah, and so it should be next week if they can. Put it on their agenda so we can get that done.
Before July 10th.
Definitely before July 10th. Yeah, for the next hearing, so you can be full voting here.
Yeah.
We have minutes. I have to confess, I didn't see this. I haven't looked at them. Did anybody else look at them? Did everybody review the minutes? I mean, I'm happy to go along with what everybody says, or we can kick it to the next hearing date.
One of the things I saw was just under 50 for May 8th. Do you have to open it, Paul?
I don't think so. It's minutes.
I didn't think so.
I'm sorry, excuse me?
Do you have to open reviewing the minutes? Usually it
I don't
does.
understand.
No,
Sorry.
Okay,
we're on minutes, but I haven't,
Oh, no, Janet can do that. She
Yeah,
did it,
okay.
so, yeah.
so 53 Marshview Road in May 8th, the order of conditions. I think we have to change one of the paragraphs in the middle. It says the majority in jurisdiction id deck, and I said the majority within the jurisdiction is the deck, just kind of.
okay, and I see that Lisa got this. Oh, you, and,
I made that change.
hey, you two,
Okay, you did.
okay, you guys are on the same page.
Perfect.
Yep.
I don't think I had anything for the 22nd, but
Okay,
just
that's the
keep in
only
mind,
change there.
Elise and Cheryl, both of you weren't there, so you can't vote
All
on
right.
those. So we'll have to, and Cheryl, you actually weren't it either. We'll have to vote on them separately.
Okay. Let me accept that change.
Were there any other minute changes?
Yeah, I have a few.
All right,
Oh, good.
5/8, the May 8th, or?
Yeah, May 8th, May
Okay.
8th first.
Okay,
486 Shore Road. Towards the end, the sentence reads, they have added service berry there.
Oh, yeah.
Service berry is one
one
word.
word, yeah, got it.
And that's all I have for 5/8, but I also have something for 5/22.
Okay, let me pull that up. Okay, I'm there.
500 Shore Road,
Mhm.
the last sentence.
Beach plums are not
Beach
doing well.
plums are not doing well, but there are 2 more years on the order to ensure their survival.
Yep, got it.
26 Salt Pond Road.
Mhm.
Third sentence, change to, they will probably bury the end of the revetment.
Okay. Okay, got it.
And then 289 Sea Pine Road.
Yep.
About halfway down the paragraph,
Yep,
omit the sentence, "No trees will be removed," because they are gonna remove a pine, holly.
Right, there is,
They will remove a holly.
hang on, nope, not yet.
It's after the English, I think will be removed, the trees must.
There it is, no tree, I got it, okay. Done, thank you,
Thank you.
got it.
Okay.
All right, let's vote separately.
I move that we approve the minutes for May 8th, 2024.
Gordon second.
Roll call vote. Elise, you're
Aye.
good. Okay,
I'm good with
Cheryl.
that one.
you can
Abstain.
Abstain. Karen,
Aye.
Eric,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
and I vote aye. That's approved.
I move that we approve the minutes for May 22nd, 2024.
Yeah.
Gordon second.
Okay, roll call vote. Elise,
Abstain.
Cheryl,
Abstain.
Karen,
Aye.
Eric,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
and I vote aye, so that's approved
We
as
have
well.
a quorum.
We have a quorum. We are good.
I move that we.
I have a question.
Oh, go
Work
ahead.
question.
Yep.
On this monitoring, maybe it's the conservation agent can help on this. I'm confused, for instance, on Shore Road, if all the plants are dead or they're non-existing, what is the definition of monitoring? So do you monitor to the end of the 3 years and then they're still dead, so you replace them? Or are you supposed to replace them as you're monitoring? I don't get it. So at the end of it, so they put new plants in, and then it's over, then there's no guarantee. I'm really confused about this monitoring, because, for instance, on Shore Road, I mentioned it a few times, the plants are gone or dead, but their response is, well, we're monitoring them. I just don't understand that word. I don't understand the technicalities of it.
I'll let Paul address that from a more practical side, but my understanding is that monitoring just means to observe and record their current condition. There's no obligation to replace them during the 3-year period, but they can't get a certificate of compliance until they do.
But the question is, so at the end, just at the end of the 3 years, they pop some new plants in and Hail Mary.
Is that right, Paul?
Well, it's a good question. In some of the old orders, we used to have a 3-year requirement with 90% success rate. So that we would receive monitoring reports from the people who were doing the landscaping, and the plants would be replaced if they died, obviously. But, you know, if they're not, if you approve mitigation and nothing survives, and then I think the answer is basically they shouldn't get a certificate.
Right. But could we put in our orders that, particularly as mitigation plants die, that there's an ongoing obligation to replace them?
thank
so that you don't have dead plants. You don't have to wait 3 years and go, oh, they're all dead. We could do
you
that,
can do
right?
that. And again, I think the language we used to use, which maybe didn't address it as narrowly and specifically as the question is being asked, is that you had to have a 90% success rate of everything that was proposed for mitigation. You know, I think somewhere along the line we dropped that language, but we can do both of those things because that's the goal, is to have 90% of the mitigation survive for a period of 3 years. The question becomes at the end, do you want, in some cases, just to give the certificate of compliance because the plants are healthy, they're being cared for, someone's selling a house? You can make individual decisions, you know, based on what's going on individual lots and with different companies that we deal with and so forth and so on. But yeah, that language we can definitely improve.
Okay,
So it's a good question,
okay.
and we need to
will-
do something about it.
Thank you.
We'll take a shot at putting something
All right.
into our standard template that addresses this. It's a good,
Can I say one other thing?
yes?
I just wanted to acknowledge, Bob, how much I've enjoyed working with you on and off as you were your tenure as chair and as a commissioner, in my role in and out as acting agent and as the agent. And wish you the best of luck and thank you very much for everything that you've done.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, it was great working with you as well. It was during a hard time as we had some instability at the position, so you were definitely appreciated. Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
Yep. And he's going to be there to
I-
support Karen and Elise, too. So
Yeah.
we're,
Yeah.
that's another reason that we feel confident about the future. It'll all be good.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
And thanks to Marion. I don't have any unforeseen business, so
Okay,
that's it.
Anybody else?
we're ready for a motion to vamoose.
I move that we adjourn.
Gordon second.
Roll call vote. Elise?
Aye.
Cheryl? Aye. Karen?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Bob?
Thanks, Bob.
Thinking about it.
Over and
yes.
out, Bob. See you on the water.
Take care,
Bye. All right.